Greetings, and welcome to another episode of Out the Box Talks. I am your host, Cril. I am excited for another show. Let me first start by saying I want to thank all of our supporters of the platform. I know I did a video earlier in the week where I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna put out an episode this week. And I just want to thank y'all, man, all those that have supported, whether bought a merchandise from our big cartel store, you donated to us, or you I'm saying, became a Patreon subscriber. Like, I truly appreciate it. I thank you. I appreciate the motivation, man. And yeah, man, I'm not done with this, man. I just was feeling a certain way, man. But I'm excited to continue putting out content, man, and just really representing that creativity, that quality, that consciousness in hip hop, man, that really stands strong, man. So we do have another episode for y'all tonight with some artists that I've been checking for, that's been doing their thing, man. It's actually MC producer duo, which they have been doing their thing individually in their careers, man, and they're coming together for a collabo project. So I'm really excited to talk to them about that and much more. But before we do that, as always, I just kind of want to shout out the platform and some of the other things to check for. Remember, you can always go to our website, outtheboxmedia.com. Become a subscriber on there. It is free to just become a website subscriber so that you can keep updated with all the new shows that we do and all the other stuff out the box related. So go to outtheboxmedia.com. You can click on the subscribe tab and you can just subscribe for free so that you are part of our email blast list. Also, if you want to support our merch, we have our merch site, outtheboxmedia.bigcartel.com. I got some Out the Box Talks podcast merch up. So we got the coffee mug, we got some t-shirts representing the Out the Box Talks podcast, right? So, the podcast, the whole thing with the podcast is that we're focused on conversations with some of indie hip-hop's best artists that are thoughtful, right? And that really taps into their art and their music, right? So if you've been rocking with Out the Box Talks, you know what you're getting. So you can get merch on that website. Everything is on the outtheboxmedia.com website, and you can link to the Big Cartel page. I also have these links in the description of this video and of the audio podcast description as well. Also, if you want to support by sending a donation, you could go to paypal.me/outtheboxmedia, or you can just send your donations to Cash App, which is hashtag OutTheBoxRep. And if you are tuning in via YouTube, our Out the Box TV channel on YouTube, you can also check out our high quality audio podcasts on platforms like Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Stitcher. Generally, where you would listen to audio podcasts, we are there. So for every new show that we do, we try to put out the audio podcast for that as well. And last but not least, our Patreon page. You can make sure, if you want to get access to exclusive interview clips, these are interview clips that have not been available to the general public. You have to be a Patreon subscriber on patreon.com/outtheboxmedia to be able to get access to those interview clips. All right. So yeah, man, always want to get that stuff out the way. I don't want to keep, the special presentation for tonight prolong. But like I said, man, I got two guests on the show today. They have been putting out a lot of music, man. I got a producer who has been putting out music since April of 2017. And I mean, this brother got about like 13 projects that you can find on his Bandcamp page. The MC that I have on the show today has been doing this thing for a while now. He's been putting out music, I want to say, at least you know, back to like 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And he put out a project called Sketches of Healing, which was like a series of projects. So we're gonna talk to him about that today, and you know, we're gonna really get this bill happening. So without further ado, I want to welcome to our Out the Box Talks viewing and listening audience two brothers, one hailing from Los Angeles, California, and the other is a native of Cincinnati, Ohio. So it's always cool to see two regions come together, man, and we are excited to have them on the show. So to our listeners and our viewers, I want to welcome my brothers Brandon, Isaac, and Free Mind to the platform Out the Box Talks. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good, y'all.
Hey guys.
What's good, man? How y'all doing? It's a pleasure to have y'all.
Yeah, man, good to be here. I just don't want to talk over nobody, but I'm
Yeah,
good.
me
I'm
too.
here.
That's why I'm like, you can go first. You can go first, Brandon. Whenever you leave first, then I'm gonna come behind you. That way we can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Word,
go
word.
ahead, man. Go ahead, let it flow.
Hmm.
So it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to have y'all. Free Mind, I know you had reached out to me a while back, man. So I'm glad that I could connect with you, man. And I definitely been checking you know, your music and your catalog, man. What I want to do before we even talk about you guys individual contributions musically, man, I want to talk I want to have y'all kind of like introduce yourselves and give the people out there a little insight on why you know, hip hop or pursuing music became like a serious thing for you guys.
Word, word. Well, guys, my name is Brandon Isaac, and I started off actually doing stand-up comedy, and that's what I was really serious about. I started rhyming when I was about 9 years old, and I never really took it seriously. I just kind of just ciphered with the homies, and I actually had a best friend that was really close to me, and he was murdered, but before he died, we used to cipher all the time and just freestyle. And he was like, "Man, just promise me you'll make a project for me, and you can rap, man. I know you like that comedy shit, but you can rap." And I was just like, I don't know, man. And then eventually he passed a couple weeks later. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? I will chill out on the comedy. And I just started writing and rhyming and kind of put the comedy down for a minute. And here I am, man. You know, that's kind of how it started. Free.
Well, as for me, you know what I mean. I started rapping before I even got into production. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think my first time ever picking up a pen and a pad, I was probably about 13, 14. I had got shot when I was 13, and I was sitting in the house. My mom didn't want me hanging out in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck it. I just found me something to do. You know what I mean? I started rapping, man. That's when the Hot Boys was heavy in the underground scene, and you know what I mean. I was on that young gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was on. But then I was like, probably a couple years after, I got into, um, I think what did it for me production wise was, I think I heard Nostradamus. Like, my first time hearing Nostradamus was like maybe the year 2000, and that's when I was like, you know what, production that's it for me. You know what I'm saying? So I just started getting into production, and I say fuck rapping, and I'd rather do this, and here I am.
Wow, man. You know, learning that I think I read somewhere, Free Mind, that even though you grew up in Cali, like your influences musically was kind of like you had like that East Coast influence. Can you talk about how you know, that came to be, where your ear was kind of attracted to the East Coast sound?
Well, I think the reason why I gravitated more towards the East Coast sound is because, you know, Nas is my favorite MC. You know what I'm saying? Nas is my favorite MC. I'm a avid Black Star fan. You know what I'm saying? So that's all East Coast music. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm into Common too. You know, that's Midwest. I'm into Common. Later on, got into Kanye and stuff like that. I'm into a lot of Southern music too, but it's mainly the East Coast just because of who my favorite artists are.
Dope, dope. Yeah, man. It's always interesting when I hear that, man. I mean, and we get inspired by so many different things. Like, you know, I'm sure like I grew up with friends that was inspired by the music that was happening in the West Coast too. So it's always cool to see how people, you know, resonate with certain music.
Yeah.
Um, I understand you have worked with a pretty good variety of you know, notable artists. Can you um give some insight on some of the collaborations that you've had that folks should know about, like outside of working with Brandon?
Um, I think one thing people should know about is the music that I did with IE Mo. IE Mo's from out here. He and I started making music back in 2011. Like he was like the first person ever rapping on my beats. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I was able to consider myself a producer because I was strictly producing for him. He was rapping on nothing but my beats, so we created the sound together. You know what I'm saying? So I think people should know about the music I did with IE Mo, and also my introduction into this underground scene was with Supreme Cerebral. So I think people should know about that as well.
Dope, man. Yeah, man. I always kind of like, I don't want to jump on, you know, have you jump on the show and like not, you know, you talk about your accolades, right? Because people need to know like what you've done in the past, man. So that's what's up. Um, I want to talk about this group name, the North Star, right? Like, and the project that's coming up, which is dope that I have y'all together. I kind of was under the impression that y'all had put out, you know, music already under it, but that's cool. Like, it's cool to know that, you know, we're gonna get something coming. Um,
Mm-hmm.
tell me a little bit about that. Like, how did y'all even come together? Like, what made y'all decide, you know what, we're gonna collaborate on a project together?
Go ahead, B.
Man, it's super weird, man. Like it was it was actually I had heard some of his beats online and I was like, man, dude the shit. And I had heard him from a guy from Cincinnati named Wayne Fowler and they did some music together. Shout out to Wayne. And they did some music together, man. And I just seen him on a story. Shout out to people sharing stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
I just tapped into with him. I said, yo, how much you charge for the beats? And he gave me his price, and I was just like, damn, I'm a little fucked up right now. I don't know if I can afford that one. And then I was just like, yeah, man, I'll hit you back, you know. And weeks go by, and he hits me up like, yo, like what's your number, bro? And then he called me. He was like, bro, he was like, yo, I'm calling you. You know that means something. Like, and then and we just started chopping it up, man. And we became friends. And we just started chopping it up, talking about music, man. And the next thing you know, we making music. And then, you know, we may start making tracks, man. And it just kind of happened like that. It was organic. You know, we actually like each other. It's not like, you know, he's just some guy that just make beats, you know. So yeah, that's my
Dope.
story.
Always good when you can get along. You know what I mean?
Yeah, word.
Really. So,
To
right.
pardon me. To piggyback off that, yeah, it's I heard his music, man, and that dude. I'm telling you, I tell him all the time. He and I, we talk often on FaceTime. We spoke twice today before we even got on here. You know what I'm saying? We speak often. We text often. We be in each other's DMs, just shooting the shit. We're friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even like in spite of the distance, he and I built in the physical together. You know what I'm saying? It was all good vibes. You know what I'm saying? But I tell him all the time, like, bro, I don't toss words around loosely. Like that dude is really gifted. He really got it. You know what I'm saying? And he's young. He's only in his 20s. He's going to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like just like the sky is not even the limit with him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like just think about how young he is. Like he got a lot more growing, a lot more learning, a lot more living. Like, he's gonna be one of the goats when it's all said and done. And I mean that. I don't toss words around loosely. I'm telling you, I don't.
I love you,
Definitely.
free mind.
I love you too, bro.
Yo, man, that's what's up, man. And it's dope when you can have that kind of vision and then communicate that. You know what I'm saying? To each other. I gotta say, man, I first heard about you, Freeman. I was just like, I'm always kind of looking for new artists, right? Just to even because I'm big on just showcasing talent that I find out about. And I was going through Bandcamp and just kind of just like looking at the beat tapes. And I was like, when I heard the music, like I think it was Magnum Opus, what I heard, I was like, yo, this is dope. Like this is solid, right? Yeah, you got the scrunchy face right there. um,
Fire. Yeah.
word. And then I had found out about Brandon Isaac, like doing the same type of searching, but just searching for MCs. And I was like, yo, I like that too. So when I was able to see that you guys were going to collaborate together, I was like, oh, this is dope. It's a producer I'm feeling and an MC I'm feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the sound is what I'm into. The production sound is what I'm into, because I'm all about that boom bap soul. And Brandon, your music is very thought provoking, which is what I gravitate to as lyricists as well. So you guys have a single and a video out now entitled Black Boy Blues, and it's under the group name The North Star. Why'd y'all choose that song to introduce as the first video and single from The North Star?
Let you go first.
Well, when we were tossing around ideas, and we were trying to come up with what can we do as our introduction to the masses together. You know what I'm saying? Like we will always have conversations about what's going on in the world, what's going on in America. You know what I'm saying? We're black men. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this album is more so like a conscious album. I don't really want to put a label on it like that, but it is. It's a conscious and thought provoking album. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what better way to put the message out there than to talk about, what I mean, what's going on with the black men in America. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, as I was sending him beats, I was tossing around ideas, and that's just something that stuck with him, and we decided to shoot the video for it.
Dope, dope.
Word.
You were gonna say something, Brandon?
Oh well, I can. I can say something. I ain't want to cut nobody off, but yeah, man, just piggybacking off what he was saying, man. Like it was almost like he gave me a writing prompt. Like you know how you get those journals with writing prompts, and he tossed that Black Boy Blue that concept around, man. I was really feeling that because that's everything I represent, and I think that's people don't often ask black men how they feel inside. You know,
Mm,
that's really rare. So Black Boy Blues was like, yo, and blue represents, tears and and just feeling sad and those type of things, man. And I just feel like that message, like I wanted to push that those emotions and that feminine side of man out to let men are also nurturing and we also have many colors to us. We're not just this monolithic thing. And I thought that was good to let people know, hey, we ain't coming out like trying to punch you in your face. It's peace, it's love. We go through pain and we trying to connect with everybody and keep the peace, man. Keep the blues. So
definitely, man. I appreciate you adding on that because it's so real, man. So, talk to me about the name The North Star. Like, what inspired you guys to go with that as the group name?
You know, um, in all reality, it's kind of like an ode to like Reflection Eternal, like
Mm,
Black Star. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like my man from Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? And like I would be the high tech. He's the Kweli or the most deaf. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like an ode to that. So it's like, what kind of, but we still doing our own thing, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like we not taking a whole swag and style. We doing our own thing, but it's more like an ode to them. It's kind of like how Little Brother came up with the name Little Brother. Little Brother is an ode to like De La Soul and all those groups that and Tribe and all that. Like so, they're like the little brother to those dudes. That's where the name Little Brother came from. So
dope.
you know what I'm saying? It's like and Black Star is actually was the name of the newspaper that Frederick Douglass was the editor of, and the writer of, the Black Star. And it's a black conscious album. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? We talking about freedom for the black man and the black woman and the black child. And we also talking about what's going on in our neighborhoods. We talking about a bunch of stuff. We talking about what's going on internally within us, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what better way what better name to come up with than the North Star? You know what I'm saying? It's like we kind of put our heads together and we came up with something.
That's what's up, man. I would have never thought that, but it actually makes sense when you talk about how you were inspired by Black Star. My question for you guys is: Does Kweli or Yasiin know about this yet, or is that something y'all
I
hope
wish.
to learn of?
Man,
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The future looks promising, man. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking the direction with this. So, Brandon, you put out a series of EP projects between last year and this year under the theme Sketches of Healing from
Hmm.
Volume 1 to Volume 3.
Hmm.
What birthed the idea for you to name these projects Sketches of Healing?
Um. I, so before I start taking music seriously, before the pandemic, um, I was working with kids, man. I was in these schools, and I was a teacher's assistant, and I would just sit there, man, and I would just see so many different colors of emotions, and so many just different types of people, man, and I just started looking at these kids, and I just started writing just my thoughts down, and they were like just like little broken pieces of me, but they were like little broken pieces of a mirror, and it was like I was looking at myself, and I just started seeing all these little pieces, and I'm just like I just started playing with these different concepts in my mind, and then I just started, writing down more thoughts, and I was even drawing more, and I just started drawing little sketches, like sketches of like little poems, and I would draw pictures next to them, and I can show you some later on, and I was like, yo, it's like I'm healing through these sketches of these kids, and
Mm.
give me a second, I'm healing through these sketches with these kids, um, and it just kind of came to me, like, it was just one of those things that just came. I can't really explain it. It's not rocket science. There's nothing deep to it. It just was like, it just came to me, and I was just happy. I'm honored, and then that I could listen to myself. Um, but it just came, man, and then next thing you know, I sitting down talking to wifey about the concept of it, and then she was like, "You should quit your job and make music."
Really?
Yeah,
Yo, that's
yeah.
dope. Wifey says that. Like, that's like that's big. She
Word.
you rather?
Yeah, yeah, word up, word up. She just walked in, shout out to wifey. But she was like, "Yo, you should quit and just make some music for a year and just see what happens." So I kept that theme, Sketches of Heaven. I just had a bunch of poems, man. And if you notice, if you listen to the music, it has no structure. Like it sounds like a lot of poems over just beats. And that's kind of how it started. So I was just like, well, I don't really want to come at this. These are sketches, right? A sketch
Mm,
is never really perfect, you know? So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make these sketches over these sounds that are healing, and it just kind of came out like that, bro. Like I'm still trying to figure out what it means because I feel like this music came to me rather than I created it. Like
right,
so
right.
so
Nah,
yeah,
that actually makes sense. It as you explain it, it kind of comes across in that way too when you listen to it. Um, so Sketches of Healing 2020, right,
yeah,
was released not too long ago on the streaming platforms because I know they're
yeah.
kind of broken up into different parts on your Bandcamp page.
Word.
And it's produced by Devin Burgess, at least the first two. Um, the first two sketches of healing.
Hmm.
The first track on there is entitled Freedom to Feel.
Word.
Where on the track, you say you hope to see more Black men teaching classes, innovative curriculum, hip hop, language arts, and extracurricular, so they can get how we creating this for the art, right?
Yeah.
And that first line that I quoted, where you said you hope to see Black men, more Black men teaching classes, that really resonated with me, and as you also spoke about, you know being a teacher or being in that setting as well, it made me think about that, right? Like, what what is the benefit you believe to having more Black men as educators?
Word. Me and Fremont just talked about this today. He was like, "Yo, bro, you need to be a teacher, bro. You need to take that seriously." Um, but yo, so I mean, I remember growing up, man. I mean, seeing a black dude as a teacher was like, if we had one, we was like, "Yo, he black," like, you know what I mean? Like we didn't get to see that. It was like having a unicorn in the class, like, you know what I mean? And there's like a stat. It's like 2% of males make up teachers in the public school systems in the country, right? That are black males. So
Mm.
it's like you don't see black men in schools, you know. And I remember seeing them like they were the custodians, right? They were
Yeah.
the you know what I mean? They were serving us lunch or something like that, you know. So I think, man, just seeing that, man, just for anybody, man, it's like it's different, and it catches your attention. And I just think it's so necessary, especially for the kids that I work with, man. Like I don't even have daddies. Never
Mm.
seen a daddy, you know. Um, so like their father figure may be like the dope boy, you know. So if a guy like me or Free Mind or even you comes in and just speaking some positivity into their life and something different, it's like, yo, I feel that. Like he looks like me, he's
Mhm.
speaking to me. You know, I need to listen to this guy, and there's more to that. And it's not the custodian, it's not the security guard. It's a guy that's a little younger, that's close to you in age, and that's giving you some guidance. So I think it's really necessary, and I think it's needed. Um, I'm going to take it more seriously, and I hope that more black men will teach classes.
Mm. Well said, man. You know, and usually when this topic comes up, because it's a topic that's come up before, that I've heard of before. And usually when it comes up, we think about young black boys, right? Having, responsible black men to look up to. But I thought about even for like girls, like, seeing a responsible, educated, goodwill black man. Like, what do you think it does for, both genders? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's very important, man. You know, my father he always says, you can always tell a relationship between a girl and her dad by what she calls him. If she calls him by his name, oh, that's Jack or that's Daddy. You know what I mean? It's a difference, you know. So I think it's necessary, man, because that brings the balance in their relationships later on in life.
Mm, right.
So if they see a positive male there when they're young and talking to them in a certain way and out of respect, you know, they're going to look for that male energy as they get older and they're searching for their significant other, which is very important if we want to keep the black family together.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Wow, man. Well said.
Yeah, word.
So, I want to talk a little bit more. And I'm gonna get back to you, Free Mind. So, I just want to touch on some of the other tracks on the Sketches of Healing project. There's a track out on the project called "Be Patient." Where when you think about the information age that we're living in today, and music and content coming out so rapidly, I want to ask you, like, how has being patient worked to your advantage as an artist in this fast-paced music climate today? And you could
Um,
Brandon, and if you want to chime in on it, Free Mind, you can as well. But go ahead,
word.
Brandon.
Um, being patient, man. Well, like my cousin, that even though it's a simple, you know, it's a simple slogan or a mantra, be patient. You know, my cousin, he's always saying that to me. Be patient. You know, be patient. Be patient. You don't have to make this microwave music. You know, just be real. Be true to you. And I think, I, I think it's important to be patient because it helps you be intentional and be purposeful, you
Mm,
know, because I can easily make a lot of dumb shit, you know, and just put it out. and rush, and it wouldn't really. I mean, what does it mean? I feel like that if you take time to go within and be patient and reflect, you're you know the effects are a lot differently. The results are differently, and you
Mhm.
move people differently, and that's what I stand for. I need time to think. I need time to go within and meditate. That way, I can get the answers that are coming from a higher source to deliver them to this other side. I
Mhm.
can't do that if I'm rushing. I can't do that. And me as a person, I feel that's burdened with purpose.
Mhm.
I can't just make microwave macaroni and cheese music. Like I just can't do that. You know.
How do you like avoid the influences, right? Like, or everybody's doing stuff so fast and so much artists are putting out, like, it's a common thing now for music to be released every month, right? Like a new project to be
Yeah.
released every month. Like, how do you still find the balance to say, you know what, I gotta be patient and stay in my lane and do what works for me, despite everything else that's happening, or all the other stuff that's happening out there?
Um, like me and Free talked about earlier, man. Like, you know, I think it's because I don't make the music everything. You
Mm,
know, I music, I love making it, but there's other things I try to do around the music. That way it's not like, oh, I have to make music so fast and put it out.
mhm.
Um so it kind of I'm kind of patient, but maybe I'm not even paying attention to the music sometimes because I actually walk away from it. I put it down. I spend some
Mhm.
time with my lady. I work with kids. I like to do other things, man. I like to travel. So I walk away from it, and I'm not too caught up in what everybody's doing, man, and everybody else is doing. I've never been that type of guy. I've never been a follower. So I think I'm not influenced, man, because I just do other shit. I have so many addictions, man. I like martial arts, and I just like all type of shit. I like movies. So like I just like to do shit and outside of music. And I think that's why I'm not influenced. I'm not trying to be the best, you
Right.
know. I'm just making music, man. You know.
That's a good space to be, man.
Yeah,
To you.
I appreciate
So
it, bro.
indeed, indeed. So I want to shift gears a little bit to go to Free Mind. I want to talk to him about your production approach, man. One thing I gotta say about you, Free Mind, is like your beats are like just classic boom bap soulful. Like it's very reminiscent of like Ninth Wonder when I first heard Ninth Wonder, and like people like Apollo Brown and similar others with that soul influence. Like, what drives your inspiration for the type of beats that you make?
Um, well, first let me say I get those comparisons all the time. I get Ninth Wonder, I get Apollo Brown, I get DJ Premier, and I get Jay Dilla. I get those four names all the time. And let me go on the record saying I'm humbled, I'm honored just to be even mentioned, having my name with their name. You know what I'm saying? Even though I haven't done what they've done, but I'm definitely honored because truth be told, that's what I strive for. You know what I'm saying? Like to be recognized, like, you know what I'm saying? Like have my name mentioned with the GOATs because that's what I always wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be one of the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like my inspiration, like I remember, man, when I first decided I wanted to make beats full time back in maybe 2011. You know, times were hard, bro. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like I was still at home with my dad. I was about maybe 24, 25. I was still at home with my dad before he passed away. We were living in Compton, and my dad wasn't working. We were still feeling the effects a couple years later of the recession from '08 and '09. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up losing the house and everything, man. I was going through it with my son's mom. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I was already influenced by Ninth Wonder and that sound. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just started making the music that resonated with the emotions and the depression and the despair that I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? So
mhm.
like that's what was really driving me, man. I just wanted to make something great. I just wanted to channel what I was feeling. You know, like it wasn't about money. It wasn't even about recognition. You know what I'm saying? Like I just got to the point to where I want to be recognized. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe a few years back, but at that particular moment in time, it wasn't about none of that. It was just about me having an outlet to express what I was feeling. Like I was broke. I didn't have shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was going through it, bro. So I needed an outlet to channel what I was feeling, and that was it.
Wow, man. You know, I'm always curious to know like how that emotion that you said you were feeling is able to be translated from that feeling to actual beats. Like how were you able, because you, I mean, I can hear it in you know, like when I listen to your beats, it's that soulful, you can, it's like richly soulful, you know what I mean, and it sounds like it's coming from a place of um a heartfelt place, you know what I'm saying, maybe sometimes even a place of pain or just a deep level of relatability. Like um how are you able to translate the feeling to the beats?
Shit, man. Pardon me. Pardon me, bro.
um,
uh,
your time, brother.
shit, man. Shit. I think that's just God, man. You know, shit.
Yeah, I mean, say no more, man. I get it. It's just there, man. I get it, man.
I think it's God, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have nothing, bro. Like that's all the fuck I knew how to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I got locked up. You know what I'm saying? And man, I was going through it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I was fresh home from prison. I was trying to find my way in the world. I was still a young man. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, shit, man. Damn.
Yeah, 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 man. I feel it, man. I feel the production, and you've put out so much. I mean, like when you look at, I could just imagine, like, I mean, you got, if you go from like 2017 to now, like every, like you've put out like 3 and 4 projects a year, you know what I mean? Beat tapes. And I think I can't remember the name of it, but one of like your first joints was like mad beats, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like I could see like you take it like really seriously, man, and it feeds your soul in a certain way, man. So yeah, man, definitely. So I want to also ask you about like your 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 production approach, right? Like do you use a beat machine or do you use like a DAW software? Like what's your your production, I guess, machine of choice?
You know, I've always wanted to own an MPC, man. Um, you know, Dilla had the MPC 3000. Kanye had the 2000. You know what I'm saying? Ninth Wonder at one point in time had the 2500. I've always wanted an MPC, but I couldn't afford that shit, man. So shit, I just started working with Fruity Loops. You know what I mean? Like my cousin had gave me a copy of his. Like I couldn't even afford to pay for it. The shit was only $200. I couldn't even afford to even do that. You know what I'm saying? So I was just working with what I had, man. I had Fruity Loops. I had a fucked up computer that I had to keep plugged up in order to even work on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to go outside. I was living with my sister at the time when I had that computer. She had free Wi-Fi in her building, so you know she didn't even have Wi-Fi, and I had insomnia, bro. Like I would just go by the front office by her building in the middle of winter, bro, and just plug my shit up and just download samples off of YouTube, go back in the house and just work. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to answer your question, I use Fruity Loops, but I've always wanted an MPC. I couldn't afford it, so I just got the next best thing, and I've been on it ever since. I tried the machine. I paid damn near $700 for that thing, and that was a waste of money, man. I
Wow,
I wish I'd never bought it. The machine, the workflow is trash. You know what I'm
wow.
saying? So I got that thing sitting in my trunk right now in my car, bro. I don't even use it. I just work with Fruity Loops.
That's what's up, man. I'm always curious to know that, because you have some people that maybe they start out with the MPC, and if they switch to like FL Studio or Ableton or a DAW, it's not the same feel for them. Like, how were you able to get like just that rhythm with Fruity Loops?
Well, like I said, that's what
You,
I started out on. So it's
yeah,
like to me, this is everything. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like this
yeah,
is this
yeah,
is
yeah,
this is a way to make music. This is a way to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's easy. Like you can see what you're doing. You can place stuff here. You can take it out, but ultimately, like I just said, you can see what it is that you're doing.
right.
So that makes your workflow that much easier. The fact that you can see what you're doing instead of just having a machine and you know what I'm saying. You got to go through the steps of however you go through it like that versus you being able to see what you can do. I think that's easier.
Dope, dope. Now, another thing about your music is that your drums sound very crispy. Like,
Appreciate
you could hear the snare, it just hits, right? How are they created? Is it via are you using like a what is it? Like a MIDI keyboard to create your drums, or are you like sampling your drum loops? Like, how do you get them so crispy?
well, the way I get them crispy, they don't come like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of drums, I have to EQ them. You know what I mean? And EQ them is basically when you can change the sound of it. You can make them warm. You can trim them. You can make them real tight and sizzly. And that's what I do to my drums. I make my drums when I'm mixing. I make my drums real tight. And then when I master my beat, I master it to the point to where my drums become punchy.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So they're tight and punchy. That's why they hit like that. And
dope.
I also make I EQ them to make them sound warm, to where they don't have so much feedback. They sound real clear and real warm. It gives you a certain feeling like a boom, 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 boom. They're real tight and punchy. So that gives you that warm feeling. So yeah, it's all in the mixing. It's all in the EQing because they definitely don't come like that. I find drums everywhere. I have drum packs. I have drums that I've collected from other producers when they leave them open. You know what I'm saying? I have hundreds of drum breaks. So that's where they come from, and it's all in the mixing and how they sound.
Indeed, indeed. So I want to actually pass the mic back to Brandon to get back to the album title Sketches of Healing. Now, this title in itself reminds me of something I've heard of, from a few MCs who have described their music as sometimes sort of like a form of therapy, right? Or a form of healing, for them. Do you get that feeling of healing when it comes to recording music as well? And I mean, and both of y'all could answer this as well. But like, do you feel like at least like there's like some type of inner peace from writing lyrics and performing? Like, how does that look for you?
Oh yes, man, absolutely, man. It's definitely healing for me, man. It reminds me of the dude who wrote the book The Alchemist. What's his name? Paulo Coelho. Um, he talks about he just writes his books, man, just because like people love his books, but he said he writes them for himself, and that's kind of like what it is for me. It's like it's just therapy, man. It feels good. I can get what I'm feeling out, and I can express it. Performing is the best, man, because you just feel free.
Mm,
Um, you feel free. You can be your most authentic self if you're being yourself. Everybody's not doing that. So, but I don't know, man. It's just a freeing feeling, man. It just feels good. You can get those because artists we're socially awkward people, so it's like we can't always talk to everybody. So I think that is how we communicate. That is how we express ourselves. That is how we can say what we feel. So not
definitely,
to
definitely,
let
man.
free pick up. Oh, did he disappear?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll come back. No worries, man. No
I'm
worries.
still here. I just gotta plug my phone up. I'm
Nah,
still
do
here.
Okay, work.
your thing. I'm gonna switch you back to the the big joint. All
Work.
right. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, man. Now, um, another thing, Brandon, a lot of your tracks on your projects you put out, at least thus far, tend to be pretty short in duration, often like under 3 minutes. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't really hear like much hooks or anything like that in your music. And I know you spoke about with Sketches of Healing, it was just kind of like, you know, jotting and going with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one thing I gotta say about you is that your subject matter is like very thought provoking, and the music sounds soulful and rich. How have you been able to be so free and not conformed by the traditional structure of songs? Like, how do you not let the musically structured mindset get in your way?
It's a good question, man. Um, just follow my instincts, you know. One of my favorite songs of all time is Nas, Queens Get the Money. You know what I mean? And when I first heard that joint, I was like, yo, if he does this on every track, I would not care. I would just, I would listen to a whole Nas album with him just going over loops and just rapping. And I was like, why doesn't Andre do that? Why doesn't Three Stacks do that? Like, why doesn't Nas do that? Why don't more people do that? Then I heard Ka, and I heard these other people, and then I was like really inspired by that. And I was like, oh, I don't need a hook. I can just be myself. And that's honestly, I have to shout out those guys like Ka and
Word.
Doom and those dudes that just never like they don't care. They follow their own rules.
Yes.
And that's just how I do it, man. I just go by that, by what I feel.
Word, word. Yeah, man. I mean, I think we're seeing a lot more artists do that now, but I don't think it's as easy as it may seem, right? Because that's why I asked that question. Because sometimes as an artist, you're questioning. You know, you might be like, well, you know what? Maybe I need to do it this way. You know, like, but to
Yeah.
be able to be so free, I think um it it produces an outcome that I think is genuine, right? When you're
Mm.
free, you know, you just kind of flow with it. So yeah, thank you for expressing about that.
Yeah, and I
Now,
appreciate you sharing that, man.
yeah, sure.
Hmm.
So the next question is back to you, Free Mind. I notice a number of your beats tend to be like sort of like short loops, which is dope. Like I like it. You know what I mean? I like it. The soul is there, the simplicity really works well for you. However, how do you know when you want to change up things? Like when you want to change, certain things in your beats or maybe add other elements to it, like, and how challenging is it for you to make those adjustments when you have to?
Well, sometimes you just know when something is good. You just
Mm,
know when something don't need to be changed, and sometimes you know when something is missing. Like there are times when I make beats and I can just make something real simple and it sounds dope. It's like it feels like nothing is missing. It sounds like nothing is missing. You can just take it as is. And then there are times when I may make something and it's just like something missing. This don't sound right. I need different drums. I go through that a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not really hard because I've been doing it so long, and I just know off top like when something ain't right. I know when something ain't right. I know when something is not good. I know it. You know what I'm saying? I can hear it and I can feel it. So I trust my own intuition. I trust my gut. I trust myself.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing about when you making music, man. Trust your ear.
yeah,
Like I really trust my ear. Like nobody could even change my mind when it comes to as far as like my ear. Like you could change my mind as far as like me not liking something because what I don't like, somebody else probably will love. So I know how to come off of that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like just knowing when something ain't right sonically and
yeah,
technically, I know it. I
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear it.
yeah.
I can hear when there's a slight anything off. I can hear it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I trust myself. I trust my gut. So I just go with that.
Yeah, yeah. And even with like boom bap, you hear like, kick and snare and maybe a hi-hat. And like sometimes the track doesn't even need a hi-hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
but like you were saying, like being able to trust your ear is what tells you to enough is enough, right? Like, so I think it's really dope that you're able to come to that realization, because I think for people that are perfectionists, it's hard for them to come to that, right? And sometimes you keep messing with a track and then you find out that it's worse off than you initially, So I think there's an art, kind of what I was talking about with you, Brandon, recently. It was like there's an art to simplicity that people don't even sometimes give credit to. So I think you've mastered that with a lot of your production, man. And the other thing too is that you make beats that are really good for MCs to rap over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be so like complex all the time with the beats, because sometimes it's difficult for it to work for MC rapping over. And so I mean, I know you don't I don't see too much projects under your belt, where it's mostly MCs rapping, but I think you have the perfect setup for that. You know what I mean?
You know something? I've actually done a lot of projects with MCs. It's just not on my Bandcamp.
Ah, okay,
Like
okay.
I have like I can't even probably number them all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
oh.
I've done a lot. Like I've done work with Supreme Cerebral. I've done work with Jamil Honesty. I've done work with Older Great. I've done work with Vic Spencer, Westside Gun, Killer
Okay.
Shoot, Intel Selector, Vinny Vendetta. I've done work with Motto. I've
Yo,
done work with .com Intelligence.
is
Trying
it full
to
length projects, or is it just like feature track?
most of them, I say about 60%, 70% of those names I just named, I've done full projects with them.
Oh, dope. Yeah, man, that's dope, man. I'm glad that you said that, man. I definitely want to check them out, man. Like, it's really difficult a lot of times for me to know it's hard for me to know everything, but I'm a definitely I want to check some of that stuff out, man. Indeed. That's what's up. So, yeah, I guess my next question is also for you, Freeman. Like, how long does it take for you to create like individual beats? How do you decide which tracks make sense for you to release on a beat tape, and which tracks you just gonna leave off?
Uh, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked me that. Because whenever I'm putting a beat tape together, it's all about cohesion and things making sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to make sense with the artwork. It has to make sense with the title, and it also has to be cohesive. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times, a lot of my beat tapes may have maybe 11, 12, 13 tracks. It didn't start out that way though. I probably started out with maybe 25, 30.
Mm,
And those are just the ones that made the cut because they make sense.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all about making sense. Like I can't just slap stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Okay, like if I did that, then I'll have 1,000 beat tapes because I have thousands of beats. Like I can easily just put a beat on here, and it has to make sense. It has to be cohesive, and it has to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a producer, so this is also me showcasing what I can do as a producer, not just somebody that's just make beats, but I can put albums together. You know what I'm saying? Like those are albums. It's just albums without words.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. The cohesion is the right word that kind of brings everything together, man. Dope. So, oh, I got another question for you before I pass the mic back to Brandon. So is your method of creating, because I know you use a lot of samples, like do you prefer like looping the samples or chopping the samples? Like what's your preferred way of working with the samples?
I chop.
Right.
Even if there's a loop, I chop the loop up, because a lot of times what people don't know is when you looping something, when it has to loop back around. So when it loop back around, it may be off.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why when you hear some of these people looping, their loops be off. I don't even think they notice it. See, but my ear is trained. I've been doing it for so long, I can tell when something ain't right. But
Yeah.
when you chop it, you can make it play how you want it to play.
Right, right.
And even like with the swing is on point, and it has to loop back around, because you either have 4 bars or you have 8 bars, or however you're gonna do it. And those are even numbers. So after 4, it has to go back to 1. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to go to 5 then go to 1. It's not going to make sense. It's going to be off. You see what I'm saying? So when you chop it, you can chop those up into the right pieces, and it's going to have to loop back around perfectly.
Indeed, indeed. Do you create your drums first, or do you do this? Do you do the samples first? Like, how do you mesh the two?
I chop the samples first,
First, yeah.
and then because again, every drum don't sound good with the sample.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I trained my ear so much, because like I didn't know nothing technically about making music. All I knew was what sounded good. I didn't know anything about mixing. Like, it took me years to even perfect my mix, because I was going off what sounds good.
Right.
I trust my ear. You know what I'm saying? And plus I used to be a drummer. You know what I'm saying? Back when I was in elementary. So it's like, I know drum sounds. Everything don't sound good with everything. So when you chop your sample up, you have to find the right kick, snare, and hi-hat. You know what I'm saying? They have to make sense with each other, because you can have a tight, sizzly kick, and then you have a snare with a bunch of echo on it. It ain't gonna make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna have a snare that has a bunch of meat on it and a bunch of fat on it, you have to have a kick that has meat and fat on it. You know what I'm saying? So they can make sense.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it's dope that you said you have a history as a drummer, because I noticed that a lot of artists that I've spoken to who are beat makers, they have that experience, maybe growing up drumming, and their beats, most of them, their drums sound really crisp. So yeah, man, it's dope to hear about that background. I wanted to, all right, so let me just shift gears back to Brandon. I wanted to ask you about another lyric on Sketches of Healing. And I'm just only talking about the Sketches of Healing 2020, which is like a compilation of both
Yeah.
volume 1 and 2. You got a line on the song "Be Patient," and it starts with the line, "Kings learn patience to overstand illumination, align into equations to shine or rule over nations, overstanding longevity, genetic inequity, especially the levity of a fool's operation." Now, the wordplay is just amazing, brother. Like, can
Yeah.
you break down the overarching message that's taking place with those opening lines of that track, "Be Patient"?
Um, Basically what I'm saying is, man, it's like, you know, every ruler, every king, man, you know, they don't just make moves. They don't just make messy moves, man. If they did, they would be losing all the time. Like, they would definitely be out of pocket, be out of place. So, before you can even really understand how to be of royalty, or to be a king, or to be in a position of leadership, you have to learn patience. You have to learn to be still. You know, you have to learn mindfulness. Um, because if you don't, then, you know, people are going to play with your emotions. They're going to manipulate you, and you know, it's all type of wars going on: spiritual war, physical war. And if you ain't centered, it's a wrap.
Mm.
So basically, what I'm saying right there, you know, just to not to get too deep, it's just, it's, if you want it, before you can even think about shining, or being in a position of leadership, or being of royalty, or being anything on that level, You need to learn some fucking patience. You need to learn to be still. You need to learn to relax, and then you can shine. Learn
Yeah,
that first. You know?
yeah, definitely, man. Got you. You
Yeah,
know, I think I said it to you earlier before we started recording. Like what I love about your music is that like you take a very thought-provoking approach. I want to say like from what I've heard, like a lot of your music is pretty much mature. Like you're talking about real stuff, you know what I mean? That the
yeah.
people can actually relate to. Like, what has motivated you to take that direction? Like you could have went the trendy route, or you could have, you know, maybe dabbled in an area that wasn't so, thought provoking. Like, but what has given you that motivation? And I feel like that's here to stay. Like that's not something that I see
Yeah,
you switching up. Like I feel like there's ethics in your approach
yeah,
as an MC.
yeah.
Talk to me about the inspiration behind that direction.
When I'm thinking about making some Yin Yang Twins music tomorrow, I'm thinking about going to that level. Nah, nah, man. Nah. I, honestly, man, I think it's because I'm such a fan of hip hop. You know, I'm such a fan of the culture. You know, like my stepfather, man, he would just when I first heard that AZ rather unique, I was like, ooh,
Mm,
shit. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, yo, I want to make that. I want to make that type of shit. And as I started getting older, I would just notice like I wasn't hearing that shit anymore. Like, I had to go back and listen to it. And it wasn't fresh. And I'm like, I still can listen to those songs, but I'm like, yo, like where is it at? Where's the new shit? And it's out there, you can find it. But I was just like, man, I want to make some of that. So it really was just I just wanted to hear it, and I started making it for myself because like I wanted to listen to it, like sketches of healing, man. It was healing me, and that music I grew up to healed me. It enlightened me. It guided me. It got me through things. Like those guys were my role models, man. So I just wanted to be that energy for other people, and I wanted to put that energy back because I feel like so much was given to me from hip hop. It was only right that since it's innate in me, I feel like I owed hip hop that to put it back out there in the atmosphere.
indeed, indeed. Yeah, man. As I'm looking at, some of the titles on Sketches of Healing 2020, like all of the titles seem to resonate with something of deep meaning, right? Like you got Be
Word.
Patient, Choose You, Listen to Your Soul, Black Women Live, King Evolve. Like a number of these titles are like very meaningful. Like how'd you, come up with like what you wanted the titles to speak to?
Um, Feeling, man. Just feeling. Whatever I wrote and whatever stuck out to me is I just go with it. I don't really get too deep. I'm not like Lupe. I'm not like super conceptual or anything. Like, it's just really what I feel. And like me and my cousin were just sitting back, just talking about just albums and track lists. And he was like, "Man, your track list should always tell a story." You
Mm,
know, your track list should tell a story. Your track list should be able to, just like how you go to the table of contents or you look on the back of a book and you look at the summary. You know, I look at myself as an author. Like, I write novels. I write whatever. I write autobiographies or whatever. You know what I mean? So I look at myself. I'm a writer. So that's the back of my book. And you go to the back of the book, you can kind of get a feeling of what the book is about. You know?
indeed, indeed. Well said, man. Thank you for breaking that down. Now I
Yeah.
know Sketches of Healing 3 is with a different producer,
Yeah.
and I get the sense, I could be wrong, but I get the sense that this could be the beginning of another like Sketches of Healing series with this producer. Is that
Yeah.
something that you have in mind? Because I know you put out like I think it was like 3 songs back in April, Sketches
Yeah.
of 3, and those songs are not on the actual
Yeah.
Sketches in 2020.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about like is there any like future with that and And I forget, just name the producer's name. I don't want to not give him credit.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
shout out to the homie Low Tech. Yeah,
no,
shout out to homie Low Tech. He's from Dayton, Ohio.
right. And Devin Burgess is the one on Sketches of Healing.
Yeah. Actually, I gotta like hype myself a little bit. You know, I made some of them beats on Sketches of Healing. Like,
Oh,
you know,
okay, yes, I know you produced too. Yeah.
I made a couple of them. Made a couple, not a lot, but I made a couple. I
Dope,
ain't
dope.
free mine. But far as me and Low Tech, that it's possible. I don't know if I don't know, man. You really want to know what that was all about? I had got a new mic, and I was like, oh shit, this dude just sent me some beats. I got a new mic. I'm about to I'm going in. And and he sent me some beats. And I was like, yo, I got this new mic, bro. Let's get it in. And we made some music and then we put it out. And he was like, yo, we got a little vibe. You know what I mean? So it's possible. I don't know. But me and him talk pretty frequently. He's from Ohio too.
Dope.
So it's possible, man. You know, be on the lookout for some more Brandon Isaac and Low Tech. Word up.
Dope.
Yeah.
So I want to thank y'all for taking the time to build with me here today for this show. But I can't leave without asking about the North Star. You know, typically the project is already out when I talk to the artist. But I want y'all to talk to me about that. Like, when are y'all thinking of releasing the project, or when can we expect maybe another single? Like, when can we see some more, or witness or hear some more North Star?
Go ahead, Free.
We were shooting for this month, but we still trying to get the artwork together. You know what I'm saying? We waiting on the artists to shoot it back. They had some issues to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So had to put it on the back burner for a minute, but it's gonna get done. When it get done, then we're gonna put it up on the streaming sites and it'll be out. It'll most likely be out sometime in August.
Nice. That's what's up. Well, August is soon.
Project is done though. It's done. Mixed, mastered, done. Everything. We just need the artwork.
Definitely done.
So you saying the project will be out in August?
Yeah, it'll be out in August.
Do you have the name, or is it just self-titled?
Self-titled.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that, man. This sounds good. How many tracks? Do you have that figured out yet? Is it gonna be more than 10 songs? Is it gonna be 10 songs? Like, what we looking at?
It's an EP. It's an EP. The next project, we're already working on that, and that one's gonna be full length.
Dope.
We're already working on the next project. Like, as soon as we were done with the EP, we were already on to the next.
Dope. What else can folks expect from y'all in the rest of the year? I know, like, Free Mind, you usually put out a number of beat tapes within the year, and I think there's only one out so far for the year, which is Magnum Opus.
Yeah,
and Brandon as well. I'm sure you got stuff, but yeah, share. Other than North Star.
I'm not putting out any more beat tapes. I'm done with that. I have so many. I'm just focusing on, you know what I mean, the North Star from here on out. But I have other projects that's already signed, sealed, delivered. We're just waiting on release dates. I got a project coming with Spoda. I produced the whole thing on that. I got something coming with J Hustle. I just recently had a project with The Great, The Last Dragon. That just came out in June. That was June. Yeah, it was June. I got something coming with my man Motto out of Brooklyn. I just wrapped up another EP with IE Mo. Also an EP with my dude Dill. He's from out here too. I got about 7-8 projects coming within the next year or so.
Dope. Man, I'm looking forward to it, man. And that makes sense. You did put out a lot of beat tapes. So I can respect that, man. Like, it's time to make that, the investment. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So I want to wish y'all all the best and success, man. I'm gonna be looking to see what else y'all got coming. I'm gonna look for this North Star project in August. Hopefully we do get it in August. And yeah, man. Much success to y'all. And feel free to let the folks out there know you know, where they can find you, like your social media sites and your websites and stuff before we get out of here.
Go ahead, B.
Yeah, man. Find me on Instagram at Sketches of Healing, man. That's pretty much where I'm the most active at is on Instagram. Sketches of Healing, man.
Dope.
Yeah, the only social media site I have is Instagram. I'm Free Mind Beats on there. You can check out my YouTube, Soul Collectors Productions, or you can check out my other YouTube, Free Mind. Hit me up on SoundCloud. I'm on there, Free Mind on SoundCloud. I'm on Bandcamp, Free Mind. That's where you can find all my beat tapes. And I'm all over YouTube. You can look up projects that I've done with people on YouTube. Just type in Free Mind, you'll find me.
Dope. Yeah, man. And Bandcamp, man. Remember, Bandcamp is, you know, where you can get these projects. You go looking for them on streaming, you're not gonna find them there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man. Lots of dope projects, man. So yeah, man. Thank y'all for that. To all of our listeners and viewers, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate your support for the platform. You know, we you know, want to keep pushing quality, creative, thought-provoking, conscious hip hop that stands for something, you know, and just overall, you know, dope artists, man. So I'm grateful for the guests that we have on the show today. Till our next time, make sure y'all go to our website, outtheboxmedia.com, to keep connected with all the stuff Out the Box Media related. You know, go get you some merch if you feel inclined to. Everything is on the website, man, and continue to and subscribe to the platform. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Out the Box TV, if you haven't subscribed yet. And till our next, show, I want to say peace, love, and light. Y'all stay focused, stay healthy, stay safe. We
Peace,
out.
peace.
Peace.